Hello, this is Cityscape, a regular vodcast featuring people, places, and ideas that impact Livonia. I'm Dan West with the Livonia Chamber of Commerce. Today we will meet an innovator in the motion picture industry that is constantly looking for ways to enhance the movie watching experience for those visiting Phoenix Theatre here in Livonia. Corey Jacobson began his career in the motion picture exhibition industry in the late 1970s and moved into a district manager role for a theater company in the 1990s. Their career path for the Wisconsin native led him to Michigan, where he established Phoenix Theatres in 2000. He opened his second theater in Livonia in 2009 next to Laurel Park Place. Today, Phoenix Theatres has 4 Michigan theaters, plus locations in Iowa, Massachusetts, and Ohio. In total, Phoenix collectively provides 59 theater screens. Jacobson is also involved in the industry as a consultant. In 2004, he formed Insight Theater Management Group, which supports real estate developers and exhibitors on the theater industry. And we are joined today by Corey Jacobson. Corey, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate the invitation.
Glad. I know you're a busy man. I'm glad you found some time for us. Tell us what got you so interested and passionate about the motion picture industry.
Well, when I was 13 years old, I was sitting with one of my friends who were watching television, and he said, we're kind of lazy, maybe we should go and get jobs. And he said, where do you want to go? And I said, let's go to the theaters, because I was always really excited about movies. My first movie that I went to was Herbie the Love Bug, the Disney. And back in the 60s with my dad, and one of the projectionists took us upstairs to show us the projection booth. And I just fell in love with the whole idea of how movies are shown, and it was just an interest that I had since I was that age. And it was a natural place to go. I got a job popping popcorn, and I've never left. I've done every job. I started popping popcorn, I became a doorman, I became an assistant manager, I became a theater manager. I went on to be a district manager and then owner of our own business.
It's a good segue to my next question. What got you into wanting to develop Phoenix Theatres for one, and what drew you to the Livonia location in 2009?
Well, United Artists Theaters at the time, which is where I was working, and it's how I came to Michigan, was in the process of going through a bankruptcy. And that was in the transition between slope floor auditoriums and stadium seating. And they lost a lot of their real estate at that point, and through competition. And there were a lot of theaters that got let go. So that was an opportunity I felt to start our own business, and that's what I did. And took some of what I thought were the better ideas that I always had in my head and couldn't do corporately, and brought them to Phoenix Theatres. Such as pouring your own drinks. That was a really controversial idea for United Artists, and something that's been a cornerstone to our success. And we really pioneered a lot of things, like having candy racks in the auditorium, in the candy stands, so the customers could select their own candy bars. We've pioneered getting your tickets online, online services. We've changed this, and through the years, as we've gone along, it's really developed quite a bit.
In the 14 years you've been here at this Livonia location, in addition to opening, you've done a series of renovations, and you're working on one right now. Talk about the things you've done through the years and how it's impacting the customer experience today.
Well, it all started out with 35 millimeter film, went to digital cinema, which was an enormous step forward in terms of the quality of presentation. We've introduced 3D, and then the thing that came along 8 years ago that really excited our interest was putting in reclining seats, and saw that happening in a couple of markets. And here in Livonia, and our company generally was one of the first theater chains in the United States to introduce this. In fact, we had the first reclining seats on the west side of Detroit, which was a really, really big deal 8 years ago. And of course, right now it's a standard for the theaters, but it really started, down in Monroe, and we took it to the State Wayne and took it to Livonia, and the success of that has really propelled our company to a different place, and really, honestly, quadrupled our revenue right out of the gate. So that basically equalized our theaters with a larger theater that had stadium seating at the time. So the the recliners have been a big plus. We also came along a few years ago and added heat, so now you have heated recliners, and now the theater seats are to a point where after literally here in Livonia, we were just talking about this, there's probably 4.5 million people have sat in these chairs in the last 8 years. And at this point, it's time to replace them. So we're replacing all the furniture. We have 6 of the 10 auditoriums replaced here at Laurel Park, and the other 4 are going to be replaced after we install another innovation, which is Dolby Atmos, which is something that we'll be putting into all 4 of those auditoriums this year.
So, and also you got, you're doing some other renovations to here as well. You're adding carpeting?
Yeah, we're changing out the carpeting and, changing out the carpet, changing out the wallpaper.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be refreshed from time to time. And, and again, if you walked in here, and we have, there are pictures online that we have, and I look at those photographs, and you don't really realize all the progression that you've made until you go back and look at the old pictures and say, you know what, we've had changed a lot of things here over time, and it just keeps getting better. And we keep going out and finding things that we like, and bringing those refinements back here, or things are developed here that we bring to other places. So I think it continues to evolve.
Throughout all your years working in movie theaters, you made a lot of popcorn. What is the magical mix of butter and salt and other goodness that makes popcorn so unique in a movie theater?
Well, it's truly, I think it's the flavor call that gets added. It's a product called Flavor Call that gets added to popcorn.
Okay.
And that is the secret sauce that makes it really, really good. And I think the fact that we just make it here and you hear it popping in the background is always a big plus. But I am crazy about popcorn, and I love making it. Last week I spent, probably half the day on Saturday popping popcorn in our new theater, just testing out the new equipment to make sure it works. And they say, well, we can take that over. So wait a minute, I'm having a good time. Let me continue to make popcorn. That's how I got started.
For what I'm hearing is after 5 decades of all kinds of technological change, the movie theater industry has endured a lot of challenges, and it seems like you guys continue to find ways to reinvent
everyone
yourself.
always, they always count us out, and we're always still there. Now, that doesn't necessarily, again, mean that there aren't a lot of changes. I think that one of the things that COVID did is it exposed a lot of theaters that were probably a little subpar, and if you're subpar in terms of not providing these customer amenities, then you're simply not going to be here. I mean, a good example is Chinese restaurants. If you had 3 of them in your community, the ones that were maybe a little less desirable are going to go away. Are you still going to have Chinese food? Certainly. But those businesses that are strong are going to continue to survive, and the ones that are weaker are going to walk away. And that's, in my opinion, how capitalism should work. And some of these things got a little accelerated by the pandemic, but generally speaking, I think that the people that are strong are going to continue to be strong. And we're very fortunate because I think all of our locations are well positioned to do well going forward, and we're very happy with it.
Well, Corey, I thank you for your time today. We look forward to the next round of renovations coming here at Phoenix Theater. Congratulations to your 14 years so far.
Just wait until you hear Dolby Atmos coming our way. There's a lot of cool things happening. We've got a lot of good product this summer too, so I think you'll see the industry rebounding quite well through the rest of this year. I'm really excited by the film lineup we have, and I hope everyone joins us this summer.
So you have the sound for this movie?
Yeah, we've got Indiana Jones.
Yeah, so you'll have that.
Popping in here soon.
Very good. So again, Corey, I thank you for your time today, and we wish you all the best going forward. And anyway, that's all we have for this edition of Cityscape. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.